Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Mbai. Thank you so much for tuning in. So today I'm going to be talking about dating and prayer. Um, I've been wanting to talk about this for a while, but today we're finally going to do it. So, anyways, the first thing that I want to say, okay, well, I've been married for 3 years, so I'm not an expert in marriage, and I don't know. Some people might think it's too early for me to have an opinion to actually dish to others, but I think I have a right to have an opinion on the dating side of things and how it will affect our marriage and all that. So, anyways, let's get right into the video. So, the first thing that I want to say today is any goodness or any favors or any, I don't know what's the right word to say, like any good things that happen in our lives are because of the mercy of God. Like we can make an effort to make things go smoothly and make an effort to make things go well, but in the end we plead for God's mercy. It is all God's mercy. It is God's mercy for us to have marriages that we enjoy. It is God's mercy for us to find a true partner who is your friend, who is the love of your life, and who is your prayer partner, someone who prays for you and prays with you. So I want to say in the beginning, God, like I give all praise to God for what my life looks like and the lessons that I've learned and the goodness of God. I will not downplay my marriage and say, oh, we'll see. I will positively acclaim and positively testify that the Lord has been good to us. The Lord was very good to us, and we found a friend in each other, and he has kept us going up to now. We're not perfect, obviously. We have our moments, we have our days and times when things are not, but I would like to thank God for the life that He has given us and for the people that we have become today in this marriage, individually and all. But I want to thank God that this institution of marriage has not been disappointing for me and my husband up to this point. So, anyways, let's talk. What did I do? What did we do when we were dating? So, me and my husband dated for a long time. We met when I was just out of my high school A level. So I finished my A level in 2013 and we met in 2014. We met through a friend. I think we've done a video about this before, like how we met and stuff. So we met in 2014 and now we're in 2025. So we've known each other for close to 11 years. But yeah, when we met, we didn't start dating like immediately. He was in uni, I wasn't in uni yet. So I think we started dating when I went to uni, like my first semester, my like my first semester is when we started dating. But it has always been long distance, like so it wasn't, and we were so young guys. At that point we didn't even know like what we were doing. It was just I'm dating. I was always a good girl, I won't lie. I never dated just for, I always thought, okay, maybe this could become something. But yeah, after that, we broke up and got back together and broke up. That's a whole other story. But I want to talk about being equally yoked. Like when things actually start to shape up. I think if you're a Christian and you believe in God, you need someone who also believes in God. You need someone with the same beliefs. When I first started dating Kudzi, I was prayerful. We were going to church and I was part of the praise and worship team, and he knew that. And he was also quite active in his church. And I think for me that was enough at that point, because you do know that someone can be very active in church but not actually love God. That's a thing. Like Kunevanu, I don't want to use religion here. There are people who go to church every day, who are very active in church but don't genuinely love and fear God. So that there's a difference between someone who is saved and someone who genuinely loves God. There are people who just go to church and keep up the appearance, but when push comes to shove and you have to choose, and it's just you and the Holy Spirit, those people will not choose the right things. So yeah, that's point number one. If you're a Christian and you desire a Christian man, then you need to be equally yoked. You need to find someone who shares the same beliefs as you, the way that you believe. I'm not saying find someone who blasts in tongues or something, but I'm just saying have someone who has genuine love for Jesus Christ. That's what I wrote, yeah. So like I said, me and my husband, we're both very active in church and we're both, involved. At that point, I didn't know, honestly. I didn't know that he was, how prayerful was he, or all that. But then with time, you get to understand that, okay, this person has a genuine love and trust in God and wants to do the right things and all that. Then I also just want to touch on praying about marriages when you're still dating. Like, in our society, in the African society, anyways, it feels like it's a shame, or I don't know, it's kind of taboo to pray about getting married. Guys, if you're someone who wants to get married in the future, if you're not yet married, and if you're someone who, you know, wants to spend your life with someone, because marriage is for life. This is someone you're living with every single day of your life. So you can't listen to people who say, "Oh, you don't need to pray about it," or "Why are you praying about it?" Like Shichangoya. No, the same way you pray about, "Oh God, I want a good job. Oh God, I want a beautiful house with this and this and that," is the same way you must pray for your marriage. Don't listen to people who shame you and say, "Oh, now they're in their late 20s, they are starting to be prayer warriors." It's fine. Be a prayer warrior for your marriage. Be a prayer warrior for where you're going. I remember me and Kudzi, when we were still dating, we used to fast a lot together. We used to fast. We had days that we dedicated, still do, that we dedicated to fasting each week, or like, let's say, the start of the month or the end of the month, or if we were praying about something, praying for his job, praying for my job, praying for our attachments and all those things, we would pray together and would fast together. It's very important to have someone to do that with, and it's very important to do it. Don't be shamed into thinking, "Oh, you don't need to pray about it." Or, yes, you do. You need to pray about it. And I also want to add that yeah, when we were dating, we did a lot of prayer, a lot of fasting. We prayed together. All the times that we would meet, would pray together. We would go on mountain. What are they called? Going up the mountains to pray. I remember once did that in Mashingo. When he came, we went to this mountain, we went to pray. I don't know if I still have that footage, but I used to have a video of us there singing and praying and all that. And so yeah, that's very important, guys. Pray about what you want your marriage to look like. Pray about it. Pray about everything. I will touch on the everything at the later end of this video. And then I also just want to, before we dive deep into my prayers and all those things, I want to also talk about the Goodman partnership. I recently learned about the Goodman partnership, which says that you need to do your part. You can't just sit back and say, it's up to God, God will do it. No, you need to also do your part. So you can't say, "I'm praying and praying," but then you're dating someone who beats you, or you're dating someone who cheats and cheats all over again, and you keep defending and forgiving, going back more than once, more than twice, more than thrice. Yes, I know that you forgive people, but how many times have you gone back? What's the damage? Is he sorry? And all those things. So do not ignore red flags and then say, "Oh, God will vindicate me." No, it doesn't work like that, guys. You also need to play your part. You also need to be someone who says, "Okay, this is what's happening. Is this person good for me or not? Is this person the person that I'm supposed to spend my life with? How is it going to look like?" Because people don't magically change. People don't wake up today and different people, especially if they've already married you. I feel like if someone makes an effort before they marry you, okay, then that makes sense. But afterwards, I really, really, really don't think someone is going to try and change. I don't know. But yeah, those are the points that I had wrote down. Like, you need to also, look for the right person. Aside from spiritual things, what kind of a person is he? Is he someone who is light or dark? I wanted a dark guy. I wanted a dark man, and yeah, I went for a dark man. And you can't say he's light, or the Lord will teach me to, love him the way that he is, when you know that you don't like light guys. So yeah, that's just what I'm trying to say. There are obviously physical things and things that are not spiritual that you need to also look at iwewe and see if you're going to be able to live with them. Anyways, let's now move on to me and the title of this message. I fasted 30 days for my marriage. So, like I told you guys, when me and Kuzi were dating, it was on and off for some time, but I think we were always really serious. But then, things happened, and maybe that will be another video. But yeah, when we got back together the last time, like we were both grown up and we were both, so aware and set in what we wanted. Kuzi was scared that I was scamming him. Honestly, Kuzi was scared that I was like, trying to, because when we had broken up, I had moved on. I had been with someone else and he had been with someone else. He says it wasn't serious. Anyways, I digress. We'll talk about this some other day. So when we got back together, guys, we both weren't sure, honestly, like if the other was serious. But then I think he got sure first before me, like that I was in it and I was still the same girl he knew before we broke up, and that I was serious about him. And when I give my heart to someone, I give my heart to someone. I'm not gonna, you know, play it sideways or anything. So yeah, he made it clear to me that he wanted to marry me. I think he told me like 4 months after we got back together. He was like, "Yeah, now I want to marry you, and it's gonna happen, and all that." So when he told me that, I wasn't sure because we had our issues that had gotten us broken up and stuff. So I wasn't sure how that was going to pan out, and I took on a 30 days prayer fast. I don't remember if it was on October or in November. I don't remember the exact month now, but that was October or November of 2021 when I did those prayers. And basically, I was telling God, if he's not for me, then I don't want him. If he's not the one that's for me, then I don't want him. If he's someone else's husband, then take him away from me. If I'm someone else's wife, then take me away from him. And I told God that I wasn't going to be able to leave him on my own because I was in love with him, obviously. I was so in love with him for what? 10 years now. Okay, not maybe they weren't 10 then. But yeah, for a long time, I'd been in love with the guy and we had been, we couldn't stay away from each other. So I told God that I couldn't do it myself. I needed him to take me away from him if that was what he wanted. And I prayed about the marriage that we would have, what I wanted in a marriage. I've always told God that I want a man who adores me and a man who loves me. And yeah, he has answered my prayer honestly. I feel loved and I feel adored, and I hope he feels the same as well. But yeah, guys, I did pray about it. I did pray about the kind of marriage that I wanted. I did pray about the kind of men that I wanted to spend my life with. I did pray about family. I prayed that our families would blend well. If it got to marriage, I prayed that our families would go um would get along well to themselves, and then me getting along with his family and him getting along with my family. And my in-laws, they're the best. You guys know this. My in-laws, they're like my parents. I'm so spoiled. I'm so loved. My mom thinks Kuji is her son, not me. Like my mom is like that with both her son-in-laws. She's very, very, very in love with them. So yeah, I'm here to testify of God's goodness, and God answers prayers. I know that there will be people who have some sort of backlash to this kind of videos and say, "Oh, you shouldn't say that, you shouldn't say that." But guys, it's time we testified about these things. The people in happy marriages, as young as we are happy. As young as we are, we see the goodness of God. And like I said, it's not because it's also to know Gona, and it's not because we prayed better than anyone else. It's all because of the mercy of God. But I'm just saying, Iwewe will do your part. Like in this Goodman partnership where you want God to bless you, do your part, invest in the prayer, invest in whatever you're supposed to do. If you're supposed to find out more about your person, you're supposed to have the right conversations with your person. So yeah, I prayed about our families, I prayed about our finances, I prayed about the kids we were gonna have, it was extensive because it was 30 days. I actually used this book. I think was it Point to Point. I don't remember, but it's a book by Elisha Goodman. I'll link it down so that you guys, if you want to check it out, you can check it out. But I went through those prayer points. I prayed with it, and yeah, I went into the marriage sure. I went into the marriage thinking I told God, and I think God has answered me and stuff. Because after that, he became so serious and so like sometimes the person's actions, he doesn't need to keep telling you. Because when I was like to him, I'm not sure if I want to marry you. I don't know where we are. And he was like, I'll show you. And he did show me, guys. He really did show me. And he has never stopped showing me. Like it wasn't a pretense kind of thing, like to say he's pretending so that I marry him and then he changes. No, it was never like that. He has always shown me that. And as we grow, you know, different challenges, family challenges, all those things. He's always been there. So yeah, I'm just here to say, invest in prayer. Invest in prayer, invest in time with God. And when you know God and when you have the Holy Spirit, it's easy for you to discern some of these things. It's easy for you to, know what's good and what's bad. It's easy for you to tell that, okay, this guy maybe is good, or no, I can't do this guy. So that is my advice. And to also say, God answers prayers. God is a merciful God. Cry unto him and he will hear you. Cry unto him and Abanyarari, Bible says, whom of you, if their child asks for bread, would give them a stone. So what of your Father who is in heaven? So whatever we ask God for, He He will answer us. I also want to touch on purity. I also want to touch on the fact that I think in marriage, God has one rule: no sex before marriage. That is God's rule, and yeah, we can't ignore that part. We can't then say, I want this and I want that, but we ignore that part and then go back to God and say, I need you to bless my marriage and that. I know that mistakes can be made, but you cannot make up your mind to follow Christ and still not live in purity, number one. Number two, I also want to say, as you're praying for a good man, ensure that you are a good woman, because God is not going to steer his good son into the hands of a bad woman, and he's not going to steer his good daughter into the hands of a what? Of a bad son. So yeah, I know that marriage is not black and white. These things are not as easy like by just saying them. But I believe in investment in prayer. I believe that God answers prayers. I believe in the message of God. And I believe that you need to invest in prayer in everything that you're doing. So yeah, I think that will be the video for today. If you guys want more about this topic, please just comment down below and let me know what else you want to talk about. We're also going to do a video talking about the things or conversations we had before we got married. Like, what did we talk about? What did we plan like before we got married, and what of those things has changed? So yeah, if you guys are interested in that video, it will be coming very soon. But thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already subscribed and you've reached this part of the video, I hope you do subscribe and don't forget to like the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.